Hey, level 6, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today, I'm going to be doing an album review on the new Boris album, Heavy Rocks 2022. So, Boris is a famed Japanese rock band, and they have been making music ever since the 1990s. And this new album is their 29th studio album. And they have pretty much tried everything in the rock slash metal genre, all the way from drone rock to noise rock to hard rock to thrash metal, sludge metal, uh, ambient music, you name it. They have pretty much tried everything in that genre already. But yeah, Boris has essentially returned with a new album called Heavy Rocks. But if you guys don't know too much about Boris, this is actually their third album called Heavy Rocks. They have actually released an album of the same name in the year 2002 and then again in 2011. So this completes the Heavy Rocks trilogy with three albums called Heavy Rocks with a similar album cover. So, yeah, wow. This is easily the wildest and most upbeat and insane Heavy Rocks album out of the three Heavy Rocks album, and it is just amazing to see a band making music for such a long time and still having the same energy and the same insanity that they used to have, and even more so. And again, on this album, we have stoner metal, sludge metal mixed with a bits of hard rock and noise rock, and it is basically Boris being as energetic as ever. And prior to this album, I also reviewed their two previous albums, No, which is a very washed out metal album, thrash metal, sludge metal, stoner metal, a bit experimental, an album that I really like, as well as their previous album W, where they dabble more into drone and ambient, which is not the most impressive, but still has some great ideas. Well, Boris has returned with another. Oh boy, my roommate's coming. Okay, so the album starts off with She Is Burning, with the heavy pummeling riffs, the soaring guitars, the driving drums, and the horns. Boris immediately slams us into this noisy, chaotic world of rock music, and it is just awesome. And this insanity is pretty much turned to 11 on the track Cramper, with the really raspy and breathy group vocals, like a bunch of goblins screaming, and the hook is also kind of sassy and cool and badass, and this track is a lot of fun. And it's just awesome to see the band still having so much fun nearly 30 years after they are formed, and they are still making music like this. It's just awesome. But anyways, My Name is Blank, pretty much borderlines hardcore punk with the group shouts as well as the contrast between the shouts and the weirder, more low-pitched verses. Together, the explosion of the choruses just stand out a lot more. And the track Blah 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 is a spacey track with some fuzzy bass and reverby vocals. It's not for everyone, but I personally really like it. I really like how airy and surreal and strange it is. It sort of adds a really nice atmosphere, and the crazy screeching horns is such a nice touch. Then the album dives a bit into a low point with Question 1, which is more of a sludge metal type track. The mixing is a little bit off in my opinion, and the vocals are super loud and synthesized. There's a psychedelic breakdown in the middle, but it's not really smooth or anything. And then we have Nosferatu, which is a very slow and heavy track, very sludgy. The crazy screeching horns are back, and I love that. But overall, it's definitely not one of the better Boris tracks on this album. Ruins is a very straightforward heavy metal type track, hard rock type track, a blast from start to finish, 2.5 minutes, totally solid. And that is followed with some of the most chaotic moments on this album. Ghostly Imagination has the deep fried guitars and the insane vocal harmonies. It's super noisy and super ugly and wild, and the band is not holding back or pulling any punches whatsoever. And I can pretty much say the same for the next track, Chained, with the washed out vocals and the fiery drums, and these really weird, super distorted, wobbly guitars. Finally, the album ends off on Not Last Song, which is the last song on the album. But it's not the last song. It's not. And it's a pretty weird ending for the album, I guess, because essentially the album ends off with this strange, eerie, slow piano-led track with these wailing vocals. And it just gets noisier and noisier and noisier. And at the end, it just basically builds up to white noise. And yeah, it's definitely an interesting closer that builds a very strange atmosphere, and I like that. I wish it would have ended better, but overall, this is a good track. Overall, this is a good album. And I don't know what's going on with 2022, but there have been so many amazing metal albums and hard rock albums I've heard this year. Wow, what a fantastic year for metal. What a fantastic year for Japanese music as well. Yeah, good album, feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 out of 10. So have you listened to the new Boris album? For one, rate it, like, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.